Hey y'all. What's up? Dre Smooth and everyone else who's here. Um, okay, so welcome to the BeckyBrownGurl Show. I'm your host, and tonight I'm here to discuss whether you would give your partner a hall pass. So I don't know who's familiar with what a hall pass is, or um oh, okay. Well, I have someone who wants to join me right away, so I guess he's got something to say on this topic. Um, but yeah. So I want to talk about whether or not. Hi, are you there?
Yes. Hi.
You want to turn on the lights?
I didn't know I was on video. No, oh, no, I didn't want, I just wanted to,
Oh, come
no,
on. Oh, you don't want to show your
oh,
face?
actually, I got to go to work. So I was just kind of laying down before I went to work and I was watching. It popped up and I was just like, let me take a look what's going on.
I see. Well, usually if I
So
add people,
you
if
have
if
a,
if I add people to the video, then it's because I want people to be able to see them. So if you're trying to be like incognito,
oh, no,
then
no, it's not that. It's not that. I was actually about ready to go to sleep because I was just, and it popped up on my phone before I put it down. So how often do you do this show?
once a week. So why don't you just let me go back to talking to the folks then,
Okay.
and maybe if you want to hop off, if you don't want to be on camera, I might be able to add somebody else then
Yeah, that's fine.
instead.
But I will for I'll next week. You have it. It's
I do
every.
do it. I do it every Wednesday night at the same time at 8 o'clock. So
Okay.
so if you want to join me, you can do that. But
Okay.
tonight, like I said, I want to talk about um hall
Hall pass.
passes. Yeah. So you can just hop off
And
if you don't mind.
no,
And
that's quite all right. Right. Have a good one now,
you, you,
and good luck with the show.
you too. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. So for those of you who may be familiar already, or may not be familiar rather, it is there was a movie that came out like years ago with Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis and Christina Applegate. I don't remember who the other woman was, but there were two married couples that were friends, and the wives decided to give their husbands what they called hall passes. So basically, they got a week off from the marriage, because I think one of them had like caught her husband flirting, and she was concerned um, of what he might be doing, and so she went ahead and gave him the opportunity to do what he wanted to do in that week, which included potentially, well, likely having sex with other women, and then they come back together and go back to sort of their normal married life. And so I think anyone who's been in a relationship, a long-term relationship, understands the unique challenges that are inherent in that experience. And so um as much as you might love someone and enjoy your time with them and what have you, like life be lifing, and especially you have kids and you have other responsibilities. It just it can get sort of mundane and routine, and so the spark that might have brought you together can get lost, I think, in that. And I mean, look, and we're human, right? So you can be as attracted as you want to your partner, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be attracted to other people, because if you have two eyes that work, you're going to see something else you like, right? So having said that, um i, I was thinking about it in the context of infidelity, um in the context of how, like, what's it called, ethical non-monogamy and some of these other like non-traditional relationship types are becoming more popular. But for those who are still, into the traditional monogamy, I would like to know if you would consider giving your spouse or significant other a hall pass, which also means that you would get one in return. Um, just to take a little break from the relationship, and who's willing. Oh, 2 hall passes a year, Fritz, you gotta hop on. um yeah, I mean, I know some of y'all are going to be in the cut because you might not want to say what you really think, because I don't know who else might be watching. But okay, Fritz, I'm going to send you a request then. See, he's very enlightened. um Tommy said she better cheat like her foremothers did. I'm old school, so no. But what? See, but wouldn't y'all want to, like? I think part of the problem with cheating and infidelity is the lying. Like, wouldn't you rather know, instead of like the feeling of sickness and catching somebody, being a liar to you behind your back? Wouldn't you rather know what they're doing? Because, by the way, if you're allowing that, then it applies to you too. Just asking. Um, Hold on, Mike. Fritz, I'm gonna send you a request. And then Mike, you can join me after. I'm gonna try to do one at a time. At 54, there's no passes needed. Why? Why is that?
Oh, shit.
Y'all love to be in the dark. Hi,
I'm in the
Fritz.
car though.
No, no, no. It's fine. It's fine.
I
I
feel
know
like
you may have.
I was about to say I wasn't gonna go because I'm always going.
No, but I appreciate that. You want to chime in and give your, because other people gonna be scary.
I don't know why. I feel like this is a great topic to discuss.
I feel like it's a
Yeah.
great topic too, but see, I, my assumption is that a lot of men would be like, of course they would want a hall pass, but they don't want
Um.
to reciprocate because their ego can't handle it. Um, so, and with that said, no, if there's no reciprocity, then them hall passes ain't popping. You know what I mean?
I
But
agree.
but you had some interesting uh opinions in the comments I saw. So
At our parents, I don't feel like we're in that. We're in a different type of society right now, and I feel like we shouldn't be so closed-minded in the sense of just being in that. Monogamy, like I said, monogamy is cool. Don't get me wrong. But even some people that I know who are in monogamous relationships, they even discussed it with their significant other, saying like, I know we've been together for X amount of years. That doesn't take anything away from us, but I know you may potentially like somebody else. And we got to look at it just not only in a sexual standpoint, because you going out with somebody else and having a conversation and they're stimulating your mind, that's still you engaging in that act, right? Some people would still deem that to be cheating, no?
well, see, and that's something else that I want to touch on as well, because I think people have different definitions of what cheating is. Like, because women, traditionally are more emotional. I mean, not always, but like, we are um characterized as being more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
When, people will say that when women cheat, and they develop an attachment, or they can develop an attachment to the person they're cheating with, is not just sort of, they can't compartmentalize the action, and then they can, develop an attachment to this other man, which, brings a whole nother level of drama into the situation. Look, by the way, I think that men can get attached too. So men try to act like they're not emotional.
Of course they
It's
can.
because it's not socially acceptable for them to be emotional. But I also do think men have the ability to compartmentalize more so than women. Um, so saying all that to say, even if a woman doesn't necessarily sleep with somebody, maybe she got a work husband, that she confides in about, issues that she's having in her primary relationship. And, they develop a bond and, maybe a closeness that she doesn't necessarily have in that moment with her husband. So, yeah, that could be, I guess it could be considered cheating depending on what's sort of agreed to in the relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess anytime you have somebody who's not your primary partner in a monogamous situation
It's
filling a role,
yes, it's considered cheating.
is it? I mean, I'm just saying
Well, I'm
it
saying
could be considered
it's
that.
considered in our society. It's considered cheating. Yes, it's considered if you're flirtatious. If like for example, if me and you go out and I have a wife and we go out and I'm flirting with you and I'm very touchy and whatnot. That we don't actually have sex, but we engage in conversation. We engage in touching. We may kiss, but we don't actually have the act of sex. It's still cheating, no? In a monogamous relationship, right?
I mean, yeah, if it's not something that you would do in front of your significant other, like, because you might say you could kiss me on the cheek, okay, so.
Well, not. I mean,
But I'm saying, but in a way that feels,
yeah.
more than just, something like kind of platonic, then yeah, it could, um it could definitely be deemed in that regard. But I think for people who are, I don't want to say they're more enlightened.
I'll use me as an example real quick. I'm a sapiosexual. I'm really attracted to women who are intelligent, like highly
Mhm.
intelligent. I feel like I'm intrigued. It's almost like not like my third eye, but it's almost like you're so like you're so elevated in the sense where I become so intertwined with you because you're stimulating my mind.
Right,
I
right.
become engaged that way.
Yeah,
And granted, I may want to have sex with that woman, but I'm not leading with that. I'm not leading. It's not the beginning
right.
for me. And I don't know. I can't speak for other men. There's some men that are like that, and there's some men that they just want to have sex. So it all depends. But I have to be
So,
stimulated. I have to be stimulated with my mind first before me either even. And there's a lot of intelligent women. Like there's tons. It's like an absurd amount.
so you
So
just out here ready to risk it all. Well, you're not. I mean, I don't know what your
I'm
relationship
single.
status is, but okay.
So
Well, then
yeah.
you're not
So nah,
doing
I'm
anything,
not.
are you?
But I'm fine. But yeah. That's typically how it works. And I know a lot of brothers that are like that too. They're like, yo, they engage in conversation because women just have that certain insight and certain. I guess like there's certain they know how to put things in layman terms and they have a different type of way of thinking in comparison to men. That's why men and women work so well.
Well, yeah. I mean, we tend to. Well, that's why, because some men are not big talkers, right?
Oh yeah.
But again, I don't want to say it's gender specific because there are men who talk a lot.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm a woman who be talking. So for me, similarly, I have to, like, I don't care how fine you are, if you're boring, you're dumb,
Uh-huh.
you can't stimulate my mind, I'm turned off. Like, you can't carry on a conversation, I'm turned off. So yes, there has to be physical attraction, but like that piece of it, it'll be like grand opening, grand closing. As soon as I see, your conversation is boring, dry, like you can't, nah,
Mhm.
I'm not with that either. But I don't think you answered my question yet. Would
What was
you
the?
give, if you were in a relationship, would you give your significant other a hall pass or not? You said non-traditional relationships.
I would.
You and
There would
and
there would have to be some. Obviously, we'd have to discuss it in depth, and there'd have to be rules to it. But yeah, I would.
would you would you want to know specifics?
No, I wouldn't want to know. I just want to know everybody's being safe.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the main concern there when you're dealing with that kind of stuff. I don't want to know the particulars. I don't want to have like a in detail graphic dissertation on what's going on. No, I don't want to know that. I feel like that should be between you and that person, but it definitely shouldn't come in between us. So it's like you gotta
Okay. So let me add a twist,
Mhm.
just like I did when we played 20 questions.
Go for it.
What if it was somebody you were cool with, not like one of your besties, but like somebody that you knew, that you traveled in the same social circle, and so there's likelihood of y'all seeing each
No,
other, you know,
uh, it can't be. It can't. I can't be.
it can't be the homie.
It can't even be somebody I'm associated with, homie. It has not even like 66 degrees of separation. It has to be somebody completely like there's no friends in common whatsoever.
So just in another state, like, so she gotta
It doesn't have to necessarily be in another state, but I mean, I don't know everybody.
she gotta go to the Bahamas and meet
I'm
that
just hoping
Tiffany Jock.
it doesn't have to be somebody where she has to travel. It just has to be somebody where it won't come back to me where he's like, oh, so that's your girl? Where me and her got up. I'm like, damn, what? Like, okay.
Okay.
Like I just
So because also when we did 20 questions, you said you prefer monogamy, but then would you be open to like not just sort of a one-off situation, but like a polyamorous situation?
nah, the thing with the polyamorous situation, it's to me, in my opinion, it's just too much going on. I feel like that one person is fulfilling enough where the hall pass is just a situation where it could have been the work husband or work wife, and now it's to the point where you can't suppress those urges anymore, or you feel like you might be on the verge of cheating, because that's how most people do it. They've already established rapport with the person they've cheated with,
Yep.
and
Yep.
now it's like, damn it, now like, oh, it just happened. It didn't just happen, it built up to that point.
Yeah.
So now I feel like if these conversations were discussed, it's like, yo, I feel like I don't think I could suppress this anymore. She's really dope. She's really intelligent. She's fine. I mean, you're also fine, but you're my partner. But it's like, for some reason, this urge, and I know people are like, you might as well just be single. No, I don't think it's that easy in that sense, because
So
it's
part of what
realistically we are attracted to other people. We can't make it seem like that our person, because we can have our person, but that doesn't mean that you don't have other urges for other people on a particular time. It may come in waves.
Yep.
Sometimes you're good. Sometimes you're just like, damn, this person is dope. Why did this person come into my life, and they have everything that your partner may have as well, but it's just a different person altogether.
So I was sort of what inspired this was well, I mean, I know, someone who recently I had a conversation with about ethical non-monogamy, and um again, it's kind of like a hall pass but on steroids, because it gives you more freedom, from what I gathered, to engage people as you get these desires. And see, that's too much for me. Like, because of course, since I'm posing the question to y'all, I had to pose it back to myself. Like, could I be okay with that? And like, of course, I don't want to be cheated on. Like, when I mean, like,
I think
you people are not possessions, right? They have
I'm
free
yeah.
will to
This is
do to
that's
do
a
what
great one.
they want, and to do
Mm-hmm.
what they choose at any given moment. And so you have to put your trust in that person, because they've demonstrated it through their actions, that you can rely on them to be honest with you. Now, again, to me, the honesty factor is one of the most key pieces in like in the, I guess, the success of a relationship, because at the core of the infidelity is dishonesty. And
Mm-hmm.
so now it's like, well, I mean, that's an extreme circumstance of you being dishonest, right?
Mhm.
But it's hard for you to rebuild that trust with someone when they, you know, they and it, especially if it's something that's like ongoing, is multiple people, it's like a regular pattern of behavior. And yeah, in a case like that, if you're saying I just can't control these urges, I just gotta have something strange, I gotta have something new, well then you gotta be with somebody else because now you're doing too much.
Mhm.
So somebody else might like get somebody else to do it because they might be cool with,
That
you know,
that's what I'm
with
saying.
don't ask, don't tell, not knowing what you're doing behind the scenes as long as you're taking care of home. No, that's too much because you might bring something back to me or a baby, and then I'm gonna kill everybody up in this. Yeah, so uh-uh.
I
Um,
think it's a conversation that a lot of men don't want to have because they feel women aren't really on board with it because women will have a tendency to say that, and well, am I not enough for you? They look at it that way, and it's not the fact that you're not enough. No, it's just I strongly believe from my experiences and what I've seen from my male counterparts is just their significant others are more than enough, but is that they still have that they have that urge that pulls them in a different direction. And if they could have that conversation open and honest with their partner, you'd be surprised on who might be willing to entertain it. But obviously, they wouldn't want to give that same pass to their partner, which is
well,
self.
then this is the whole point I was trying to get at. It don't count. I'm not saying like I know the way I posed the question
Mhm.
was like, would you give it to your partner? But in you giving it to your partner, in return, you're giving it to. I mean, that's a pass for them too.
Yeah, it has
So
to
it's
be. It has to
reciprocal.
be.
So
It
if
can't
you're
be. It
not
can't be
willing to give
one
it
sided.
back, then you can't take it.
Exactly. It can't be because, like you said, people aren't possessions, and we throw it all the time. My wife, my husband, my girlfriend.
My man,
It's
my man, my man.
yeah, my man, my man. I was like, you gotta understand in that sense. I don't own anybody. There's ownership here. And even if I always hated that term. My like it's you're somebody currently that's allowing me to enjoy their presence, but you're not mine. You're not mine to own. You're not mine to possess.
I think
So
sometimes actually, sometimes it depending on the person, right? Um, sometimes knowing that you have somebody who's not like hawking and stalking and treating you like you're a child and doesn't trust anything you do, and like I think a little jealousy is cute, but like some of that stuff can get to be OD. Like you got to
yeah,
relax, homeboy. Like are do you trust me or not? And I too have had my moments of being territorial, and looking back on it I'm like I was bugging,
yo,
but I know me. So I know my limitations.
yeah,
And if I am in love with you, like I'm in love, then
yeah. But
I don't
you're
think so.
I think
I don't think
the
so.
the way you look at it now is like I feel like there's people that are in love. Granted, yes, but that love at year one versus that love at year 15 may be different. So it's like you still love that person. You might be still in love with them on a high level, but still it's still gonna change. It's gonna vary. So that's why people like to look in they engage these conversations as they get older because they're like, let's spice it up a little bit. Maybe we're stagnant. Maybe introducing somebody else into the relationship. Now, I'm not saying like having a threesome or something, but introducing something else will allow you. Some men would say it actually helps their relationship because it allows them to appreciate what they have more. It's weird. I don't know, but
No, I've heard that said before, but again, I feel like some people really are just on another level of consciousness. It's and I'm not talking about the men who were like somebody had said in the comments something about like, you know, the more successful a man is,
the
um
more
you know,
options
you
stuff
just
he
you
has.
sort of have you like it kind of comes with the territory. I mean, look, women will put up with a lot more
Of course, when they're
shit
getting taken care of.
from a man.
When
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you
like, would you
can't be
rather
out here
cry?
broke
Would you rather cry in a
and doing
Bugatti or cry
everybody,
in a
and
Honda?
then what?
It's one
Like,
of those.
like
It's one of
I
those things.
I saw no the clip that I mentioned earlier. I started to mention earlier. The guy was talking about how talking about the difference between or his take on monogamy versus polyamory, and basically he was like um polyamory is a rich man's sport. He said because well
Yeah.
in his mind he said or a man who is at least financially stable because he's like in if you have the expectation that all these women are just going to be yours and loyal and faithful to you only because again typically that's the way I've seen it work. It's not like the women, I mean maybe sometimes the women have their own men, I don't know, right? I don't know anyone intimately who is into that lifestyle, but just from things I've observed, I've read, whatever. um but now you have to take care of these women and their kids and whatever, but like I'm not signing up to be no sister wife. If you don't take your ass up out of here, sir, get your ass up out of here. Get somebody else to do it. Okay. um but the other thing that he said, which was a point that you made earlier,
Mm-hmm.
um um which made a lot of sense when I heard him say it, and you, is that um like let's say we are in a relationship, right? And I love to cook for you and I make delicious home cooked meals,
Mm-hmm.
and one day you come to me and say, you know what, I really want, this is how he framed it, I really want some Wendy's tonight. Now should I feel offended, like, oh, you don't like my cooking now, my cooking's not good enough for you, oh, you want that junk food, you want that, you know what I mean? Now that's a simplistic comparison,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the way he was like, I just want a frosty. Like that don't mean I don't like your cooking and your cooking's not,
Yeah.
good and it's not good to me. I just want something different. But in that context, it seems very simple. Like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. But I mean, like I said, for me, when I have an emotional attachment to you, that's a no for me, dog. Like I
Yeah. I mean, and it's understandable, but I've noticed that when I've seen my friends get caught cheating, and then they have the discussion between them and a significant other, it's always the one. Oh damn! Hold on.
what happened?
It's always.
That's okay. You got
Yeah.
light.
It's always the woman's the woman did. Was it something with
Wait, your sound went out for a second. What'd you say? The
and went to the car?
the
Hold on, can you hear
woman
me?
the woman always what?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds kind of like
Can you hear me better?
that's better. That's
Okay.
better. Yep.
It always seems like the woman's always asking like, was I not enough? What did I do to cause you to step out? And it's really nothing. The woman absolutely has done nothing wrong. It was just the fact that he just wanted something else. And I'm not making it a justifiable reason, but I'm from what I've seen, and I've had these barbershop conversations. I've had because I'm interested. I've always been interested in like, why do men do what they do? How come they feel the urge? And then a book that highlighted it, that really put it in perspective, was The Way of the Superior Man. Was it's like men have these pulls. These A woman will walk in the room and her energy you'll just gravitate towards it. I'm not saying it's acceptable, but
Hmm.
I'm just saying there's some things that's it just has you drawn and you want to act on it. So it's almost like, but why do you want to act on it? It's not because you just want to have sex with her. People just automatically think it's just the sex aspect, and it's not. It's really not.
I agree. I also think like Quentin said, one is definitely enough. Two or more becomes work and more drama inevitably. But again, people aren't thinking about that in the moment because they usually do things on impulse, not in
Yes.
consultation with their spouse. But the whole point of the conversation is like, yes, we're talking about infidelity or in the context of infidelity, but like, why is infidelity a
Can,
problem? Because you are being
can I pose
dishonest, right?
this
That's
question?
at the core.
I want to
Huh?
pose a question real quick. There's not a lot of men that can be real transparent with their significant other in the sense of like, say for instance, I go to like a work event and I notice there's this woman here and I was just completely attracted to her and I was like, I was immersed in her. Can I go back home and tell my wife, like, there was a woman at the party where I found her like incredibly attractive, but I didn't do anything, but she was just so fine. I felt the urge of like, a lot of men aren't going to do that, right?
But
You
can
can't be that.
but
You
can women do that
should
in
be,
turn?
but the thing is, you should be able to, and people don't. A lot of people don't talk about those kind of things. I feel like that level of communicating, that level of transparency isn't there, and that's why people end up cheating because they don't talk about the fact that they have what was going on at that current time where you felt so compelled to that person. What happened there? Has something been going on in our relationship? Have I not been giving you much attention? Like this, there's more factors than what we think is just the surface level. And I don't think we don't talk. Men will never be like, damn, I saw this. He can't go back home and tell his woman that like, oh, I saw this fine ass woman and I had the urge
Go
to go
tell your
talk to her.
homeboy.
You
Go
can't.
tell your homeboy.
But you'll tell your homeboy, but you can't go tell your wife. Why is that? That's supposed to be
But can
That's supposed
I
to be your.
go back and tell my husband, yo,
You
I
should.
saw this,
You should
but
be able to.
you're saying I should,
Yes.
but if you're my husband, can I come back and tell you, damn, I saw this dude,
Yes, you can.
like, look, in the same way, like when you're walking down the street and, like in Hall Pass, that he was trying to teach his friend a trick about how you can look at a woman without being obvious, and he's like, if she passes you and you know she's going to be in your line of sight, like turn before she walks past you. So when she walks past you, then she's in your line of sight. Now, some people, the women will be staring along with the men. To me, I'm like, look, if I see someone who is like exceptionally beautiful, or she got a big old booty or the boobs or whatever it is that I know he likes is gonna get his attention, I know he's gonna look. Do not ogle somebody in front of me. Like you turning your
Yeah,
head, you drooling. You do that when you're not with me. I don't care if you look, but have some discretion. Because if I see a man, okay, if I see a man, I don't know if you know who Marshall Price is, but he's some, social media guy. And that thing, yeah,
uh-huh.
he's passionate, right? Now, if I see somebody like that walking down the street and I'm with you, I'm not gonna be like, ah, damn, and doing all like it's disrespectful in your presence. Like I'm gonna see it, but I'm gonna see it in the most discreet way I possibly can, and I'm not gonna have commentary on it like a man might about a woman who he sees and think that he's gonna think that's okay. My point is, no, I don't think I could go back home to my husband, my man, or whatever, and tell him I saw something like that
But the thing
really
is,
looked
why
good to
why
me,
why
because he's
can't
gonna
you?
be like,
Why can't
B.
why can't you though? That's the thing. Is he not secure within himself to feel you can't have that conversation? Is he gonna feel insecure that like I'm gonna think I'm not enough? I think
Yes,
so.
one
That, and
thousand
that's an issue.
percent. Yes.
So that's an issue because it has nothing to do with him. It has nothing to do with him, and it has
It doesn't.
nothing to do
It
with
doesn't
you
have anything
on the
to.
other side.
It doesn't have anything to do with him, but he's going to make it about him. And because I already know that most, that's not a conversation I would have with a man I'm dating. I might talk to my girlfriends and say if I saw something that really caught my attention, and I don't necessarily mean that, but just if I saw somebody that I thought was very attractive or whatever, I might talk to my girlfriends about it. But no, I'm not going to talk to my man because it's going to be a problem.
Why
And
why necessarily would it be a problem if you pose it in a way where you were in a room with this gentleman, you found him attractive, you engaged in conversation, nothing else happened, but in the back of your mind you thought about it a little bit. Why can't that conversation happen?
I think because most people are going to start creating a scenario in their mind
I,
of
I,
what you're
I
already doing. Like, you're not supposed to be looking at nobody else.
see
Come
that
on, man.
that's unrealistic.
It
That's
is.
unrealistic, and I don't like it. And people can say whatever they want in the comments and all that. That's fine. They can subscribe to that, but it's just I want to be in a relationship where my significant other could come to me and tell me that, and there'll be no judgment, there'll be no ridicule, there'll be no argument. You had that feeling, and you're entitled to have that. We're humans. Did you act on it? No, that's what the book, The Way of the Superior Man, talks about a lot. Like, there's a difference between engaging in it and then actually acting on it. A lot of the times, the men that don't cheat, I'm not saying there's a lot, but the men that don't cheat, they know how to suppress it, or they just don't act. They don't put themselves in those kind of situations. They don't. But a man there's no man like, I never thought about it. It's just unrealistic. It's just unrealistic.
And again, I don't think it's, if yes, I think you should be able to have open and
This
honest
is your
conversations.
partner, right? This is supposed to be supposedly this is supposed to be your best friend if you're married or in a long-term relationship. You should be that level of transparency should be there, and there should be no backlash that comes from it. You shouldn't be giving them the side eye. Or she's stepping out. That means you have some type of insecurities you need to address, because they should feel comfortable. Be like, yo, I was at this event and I was like, damn, this brother. I was like, for some reason, I just really was thinking about it.
I think it's the way the person carries themselves in general, right? If you are out here, if we're in a relationship and you're out here pers-
Somebody said my
portraying your
wife needs to take that to the grave.
wait, if you're out here portraying yourself as though you're single and I'm in a relationship with you, then I'm already gonna know if that's what you're doing. Um, then you're not like,
It seems
then
like
you're probably not coming back to me and being, honest and transparent. You're probably, out here wilding, and because you can't manage it in a mature way. Like, look, you could say, I met somebody today, she was really very attractive. You don't gotta come in talking about, damn, I saw this bad chick today and that ass was fat and she got it's
well,
I'm not your homeboy. I'm not your homeboy. Don't talk to me
it's
like that.
definitely
You talk to
how
your
you
friends like
phrase
that.
it.
You can describe her in a way that, okay, I understand you found this woman attractive. You do not need to do all of that though.
But I feel like the way you're saying it, even if I describe it in the most well respected way, you'll still find fault in it
Yup,
because you
I
can't.
will, because you know what? I'm
Exact
crazy. I don't play
exactly. So
that
it's
shit.
like, but
Okay.
the thing is, you should be. What I'm saying is, you should be able to share that with your partner and not have any backlash that comes with it, because they didn't have to tell you. They didn't have to. They could have took it to the grave, like somebody said in the comments. They could have not disclosed that, and that's that level of communication you should be having with your partner. But and then that y'all can have a conversation and talk. Why do people cheat? Is because they're like, they think they could get away with it. They think they could do whatever, and instead of having these conversations where, like, yo, I was in this spot and like this woman, I'm all married, I got a wedding ring and everything. Still, that didn't mean anything. Yes, it depends on these. A lot of situations, things are discussed, but can you go back and talk about it with your partner? A lot of people choose not to.
So, Stace, my friend Stacy was saying, what would be the point of saying that to your partner? Like, they wouldn't feel good hearing that. But again, I think my point more so is that if you have a desire to be with somebody else. And
At that
again,
given
we're
time, at that
hold on.
given time. That's
We're
what people, I
human,
think
right?
people aren't looking at it in the
Right.
way I'm trying to
But
put
hold
it.
on, hold on.
Okay.
We're human, so we're gonna be attracted to other people. I don't care if you married. I don't care if you think you married the finest. You're gonna be attracted to somebody else at some point. Like you just are. And it's not realistic to think otherwise. But just seeing something that you find attractive doesn't mean that you have to act on it. But if you have a circumstance where maybe you can develop a rapport with somebody, like in a work setting or somebody that you interact with on a more frequent basis, that you can connect to beyond just, oh, I saw them in passing and they looked really good. There's a potential for that attraction to evolve.
Of course.
So yes, ideally the person's just going to say, no, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I could potentially jeopardize this amazing relationship I have at home. But what I want to understand is, if you feel strongly like, you know what, this is a temptation for me, like, would you be receptive, spouse, partner, significant other, to me? Like, maybe your first step isn't, okay, I want to go have sex with this person. Maybe it's like, how would you feel about me, like, hanging out with, I don't know. I know it sounds wild. I'm not going to hold you. I don't think so. If I am in love with you,
You keep
absolutely
bringing the
not.
love aspect,
Because
and I get that.
I'm not. If you're my husband, then I'm gonna be in
I
love with you.
get that.
So,
I get that.
fuck.
I'm not saying that love isn't a factor here, but sometimes I feel like love isn't enough in these kind of situations. Why, in the sense of why these situations present itself. It's not. We're not debating the fact that we don't love each other. That's there. Of course, that's present. What I'm saying is, there's a reason why that person gravitated towards that other person. There's a reason. And we're not talking about. We're not. Some of it. Sometimes it may just be the physical aspect, but there's more that goes into it with the physical aspect too. Because, like I'm telling you, after I read that book, I was underlining everything in the book, and I was just like, yo, it made so much sense. It clarified a lot for me. But
I want to know. I want to know if there are any women on here who feel differently than I do. Like, are you?
somebody says, "Oh, am I poly?" No, I'm not poly.
Nah, he prefers monogamy.
Yeah.
Monogamy,
But
but
the thing is,
honesty.
you understand, I prefer monogamy, but I prefer a monogamous relationship where we can be transparent and honest with our feelings. I don't want to be able to suppress or hide, or in a sense where I can't share things with you because you might look at me different. You might look at me in a weird way. Like, how many people can be really open with their person? I don't think that's the case.
Not many.
Not
Not
many. So
many.
it's like y'all want to say y'all want to be in monogamous relationships and be with your person, but a lot of y'all hide shit or take it to the grave. I don't want to be able to. I don't want to have to hide that.
They said
I want to be able to be like, yo.
They said you're poly.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not poly.
It's just he's more enlightened than the rest of you.
I didn't say all that either. I'm just saying. I just feel like that level of communication and transparency is lacking in relationships nowadays. People suppress, not suppress, but people withhold certain things, and they feel like, okay, I don't want to hurt my partner's feelings or something. I don't think that's hurting their feelings. You're speaking your truth at that particular time. Tonight, I went out. There was a woman that came in. I thought about it, something about her, and I want to discuss that with you right now. I want to tell you, and I'm not saying I've been out here doing X, Y, and Z, but tonight, a woman came in, and I had the urge. Why can't that conversation happen, even if it's on the opposite side?
Have you ever really, I mean, I know you've been in relationships. Have you ever really been in love?
Oh yeah. Yeah, without question.
So do you think, thinking back to that situation, do you think now, you're younger, maybe you have evolved more and
See, I like
gotten older.
Look, the level of communication requires a strong foundation. Yes, without saying that.
But do you think,
Mm-hmm.
with thinking back to the person you were really in love with, if she came to you and said, babe, you know, I met somebody that kind of piqued my interest, and I mean, I'm saying I want to get with him, but I am attracted to him. And,
Okay.
you know, of course, your first thing is going to be like, bitch.
You said you can't tell
What's
me what my first thing
my
gonna be.
favorite word?
You can't tell me what my first thing gonna be.
Huh?
You can't tell me what my first thing, because the thing about it is with me, the way I view it is I think it's just I'm secure within myself. I know it has nothing to do with me. It
No,
has it has
I'm
not.
sorry. So okay, wait, I got a couple other folks that want to join on here. I know one of them is gonna come on here talking wild. So, but one has been waiting very patiently.
Yeah, no
And
worries.
so I would like to add him. I do appreciate your enlightened, mind frame. I wish I could get another woman on
Oh
here.
yeah, please get another woman,
Nah,
or
but it's a bunch of dudes. I mean, I did see some women in the
I mean,
that were watching, but I don't know if they'll actually join. Like the women got to know in advance. If they're gonna be on camera, they gotta know in advance. They're not just gonna come on here. They're just not gonna do that. But um um
but to all the brothers that are still watching, they should pick up the book, The Way of the Superior Man. If they ever read it, they should read it. Nipsey had suggested it. I think Jay-Z had read it.
what's it
It's a
called?
very good book.
Put it in the chat so they can
It's
get
I'm
so they can get on so they can be next level thinkers like
not
you.
saying I'm next level. I'm just saying it changed my perspective on, and it answered a lot of questions on why.
See, there's a couple other people on here who haven't sent me requests that I feel like they might. I feel like they could potentially be um enlightened like yourself, men. I mean, but again, it's easy to talk about in a hypothetical situation, but being confronted with that situation is a whole,
I
another
know it's a
ball of
whole different
wax.
animal, because we are programmed to think like, oh my God, it's me. Why? It's something that has to do with me. How come he felt the urge to go talk to this woman, or have the urge to engage? When am I not doing wrong? We automatically assume it's something that we've done, or we haven't
Well,
done.
and don't you think that most men are going to be thinking like, okay, a man is going to be thinking, and I'm like, does a woman think like that? A man is going to be thinking, did you do this to him? Did you do that to him? What did he do to you? I want to know all the details so I can kill you.
See, it's an automatic thing. Like when somebody gets caught cheating, like, well, did you like it? Was it worth it? And it's like, what are these questions? What does these answers have to do with what happened?
because it's like when you're sad and you want to listen to sad music to hurt your feelings more. Like, I don't know, because we're sadistic and we want to suffer more,
Exactly.
so we can increase our level of, like, how mad should I be at you?
Oh man, it's just, I just feel like we should just be open and honest with each other. If we're gonna be in a monogamous relationship, we should be to the point where it's like, I should be able to share that information with you without having any type of backlash, or you thinking that I'm stepping out in the relationship. Now, I can understand if I'm doing it on a consistent basis. Like, damn, I went out 3 nights in a row, and there was a woman every night where I was like, that's next level. That's like, man, you might have a problem.
Like, if I, like, in the movie, in the Hall Pass movie, I know there was another one that came out recently. Candy Burris. I haven't seen it, so I don't sort of know what the like context of that is, if it's similar to the comedy version or is different. But in the other version, again, the wives were like, you know what, clearly you have an itch you need to scratch. Like, we just gonna go ahead and give you this hall pass for the week. Do whatever you're gonna do, and then we're gonna come back together, and we're not gonna talk about it. I don't think so. I mean, my memory is a little bit foggy, but the thing was, they didn't have enough game to actually get any cooch, so they spent the week attempting and struggling and not being able to, close a deal. And so by the end of the week, they were like, we really love our wives. Like, they realized, as exciting as it seemed to have all this freedom, that they wanted what they had at home. Now look, it's a movie, right? So most guys are gonna be like, let me get as much coochie as I can. Like, but
That's a lot of work,
so
honestly.
the other factor though, I think that we have to take into consideration, right, is how much play did this guy get before they got together? Because your urge doesn't go away again because you're married and settled down. But if you did a
Oh,
lot when
if
you
you
were
sold the oats,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
sold your oats
If
as a
you
young
sold
man,
your royal oats before you got
that's,
married, you got play. You weren't a cornball. You know, you could pull
we
women.
we
That is that it's not going to feel like as much of a, like you're not going to be so pressed
the funny
about
thing about that
you
is I've had
cooch.
this I've had that discussion in my male group chat, and we've talked about it. It's almost like once you could pull, you'll forever know you could pull. Once you feel like that doesn't go away, it's just you'll always want to be a part of the game. The game is that's what it is. It doesn't matter if you've sold your oats. You always feel like, do I still got it? Do I still have what it takes to make a basket? So there's some people that have that can like, okay, I could hang up my jersey, but there's some people like, let me see if I can come out of retirement and still see if I can do it. So it's not. I don't think that plays a bigger part in terms of like where you're a cornboy versus you could pull. It
Well,
may
no, hold on, because yeah, some guys are going to use that as an opportunity to say, yeah, they just want to check and make sure, they still popping in these streets, especially as they
yeah.
age. Just like, I mean, women, of course, everybody wants to feel
Everybody
like they're still
wants to feel like they still
desirable.
got it. Of
Yeah,
course.
everyone wants to feel like they're still desirable as they age,
Yeah.
because your looks are going to fade, right? But what I'm saying is, for a man who always got play, who always got, coochie and whatever, it's not like he's not necessarily going to be moved by that as he gets older. Like, he's his the things that stimulate him, maybe, I'm not a man, just saying, I think that as eventually y'all get to be mature when you're like 75, that eventually you
It's a little
stop being
accurate.
moved so much, that you stop being so moved so much by, vagina.
Well,
Like, I think,
the thing is you keep saying vagina, and like I said, it's not always
no, I
vagina.
said
That's what I'm saying.
cooch,
Well,
actually.
vagina and cooch is not always cooch. It's just something of, like I said, I'm a sapiosexual, like I said, straight out the gate. I'm attracted to intelligence and energy. Something gravitates towards me. Something that's how it usually works for me. Vagina is vagina is cool. Don't get me wrong, but like if she's lacking on the personality aspect, intelligent aspect, I'm not gonna want to hit. Why? For what?
Right. But again, if you were, imagine yourself now as somebody who was never getting any play, right?
Okay.
So, like, this is also, and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna say this, and then if you have something else you want to say, just because I want
Yeah, I
to
know we got to
add like one more
pivot. We got to
person.
pivot. We've been here for a
Yeah,
while.
we have. But um, damn, lost my train of thought. Well, is there something else that you want to say before I kick you out of here?
um, no, I just think people just need to have these kind of conversations, and and it's not like it's no one size fits all. I think people just get caught up in the way that we've been, not I won't say programmed, but what we've been,
Socialized?
yeah, what we've been,
Socialized.
yeah, socialized to think, because it's not as clear cut and concise as we all would like to think. It's not that easy. Yeah, and that goes for men and women. So I feel like if we had these kind of conversations with our significant other, we'd be in a better place. And that level of trust that we may lack when it comes to our partners may get better, because I think that's a big issue. People, the trust, the loyalty, that always comes into play.
But
But then you'll have people say, as long as he's taking care of home, he should be fine. Like, that doesn't make sense to me either. Like, just because you're taking care of a responsibility doesn't mean you should have a freedom to do whatever you want. That doesn't make sense.
um It's a lot. Look,
Like, we not our grandparents. This
no,
is
we're
not the
not.
same.
We're not our grandparents.
It's
We're
like
not
there's
our
there's certain
grandparents.
level that, so that's what I'm saying. Talk about it. Don't just like people just be out here doing
But
sneaky shit, and it's
this is
not.
what I'm. But this is my point. If people are
But people
we're so
people don't want to have the uncomfortable
no,
conversation.
they don't
That's
want to
what
have the
I'm saying.
uncomfortable
That's
conversations.
it.
I personally said I don't think I would be okay with that.
But
Now,
would you
if
respect
I was
him?
in
But would you respect him for coming to telling you
but
that?
hold on. If I was in a relationship for a long time, which I have been,
Okay.
I am not at the moment, but if I have been in a relationship for a long time, I can understand how, again, it's hard to maintain that, fresh, new, exciting. Like, yeah, it requires a lot of consistency and effort. And it's almost like, right? It's almost like having another job. And
Without
not a job that
question.
and not a job that you don't
Almost.
not no, hold
It is.
on, not a job that you don't like, right?
Uh-huh.
You love the person, but but sometimes you're just not going to be like it that same um um attraction and chemistry and all of that you might have. Like, yeah, you could be attracted to them and maybe they maintain and they still look good and whatever, but like, I mean, you're gonna see something else years later that you be like,
Yeah.
God.
And that love you kept talking about. What what bearing does it have there?
What I'm saying is that maybe in the beginning it's hard to conceive of you being open or receptive or willing to allow your partner to go sleep with somebody else. Maybe years and years and years in, you're like, I don't care. Like, just don't come home with nothing and don't come home with no baby. I'm not saying could I achieve that level of enlightenment? I
And
don't know. Maybe
I'm not
years
saying
and years and years.
it
But
either, but I'm also saying have the conversation, have the uncomfortable conversation.
say what?
That's it. All I'm saying, I'm not saying that I'm on that page too. I'm just saying have the uncomfortable conversation if it passes your mind. Have it with your partner. Talk about it. That's all I'm saying. Have the talk.
Okay. Is
That's
anybody wait, hold on. All right. So I'm gonna add one more person because we've been talking a long time. And I appreciate your no, it's not him. I need to wrap myself up. They talking about to bring out the wrap it up box. I have to wrap myself
oh,
up.
they're making it seem like I was
No,
I was running on a
no, not you. Look,
like
no, but hold on, because these same mofos, I didn't see them send a request because they don't want to get on here being honest. They would rather hide in the comments. Like,
imagine
watch this.
what you're doing in their relationship.
Oh, come on here and say it with your chest, right?
I mean, yeah.
Nah.
But anyway,
So I appreciate that you were willing to come on here and share your perspective. That is, it's unique, and not necessarily shared by some of these men's on here who are not so enlightened. So, um, does anybody else? Okay, hold on. I'm not talking about you, Ron Burgundy. Uh, okay. So Mike Austin, I'm gonna add you. Mike Ross, I know you're gonna come on here talking crazy. I'm gonna add Mike Austin and Fritz. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me.
all right,
You can sayonara.
later.
Hello.
What's up?
Um. So, leave my man Fritz alone. He's a
Huh?
he's a good guy. Not you. I'm talking about the rest of
Did
them.
you see that Ravens game? All right.
Okay. You can't
All
have
right.
side conversations. So, is you talking to me or no?
Yeah.
Um. Okay. So you seem like you had something you wanted to share. So let's hear it.
No. And the reason why I don't think that I think that if you establish that type of relationship from the beginning, I don't think that if you truly love somebody that you can have, I don't. I'm a man's man. I don't want to hear my girl talking about, you leave that for your girlfriends or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to be out here. You ain't going to talk to me like your girlfriend or whatever the case may be. You know, I seen this dude. But however, you know, it's kind of rough because I'm attracted to like ultra feminine women, right? I'm attracted to women who like women, right? And
Does
who
that
like,
make you ultra feminine if you like other women? I
no, I
just
said I'm
asking for
attracted to
clarification.
ultra feminine women.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at some nonsense that somebody wrote in a comment. Anyway,
So the thing is, you know, no, I don't think that, you know, I would stand for that. You can't go talking to me about no other guy. All right.
what? So I'm so okay. You be attracted to. So you would only be okay with a woman.
If
You you would be okay with a woman bringing another somebody into the situation with the two of you. I bet, but not something happening outside of you with another guy.
not another guy, no.
But would you expect her to? But would you want her to? Would you want to be extended? Because here's the thing: if you want to be extended a hall pass, then you have to be willing to give it in return. And
Well,
other than
again, I'm
Fritz,
specific. I mean, I have my own preference. Everybody got a preference, right? Everybody's individuals. My stipulations would be it would have to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna bring. It's too much testosterone.
no.
I'm not. I can't.
Hold on. Time out. This is the context in which we are having this is not like y'all having a threesome together. I'm talking about a whole separate situation. You don't have to know nothing about it. All you say is you and your significant other established that like you love one another or whatever, but you are potentially, are you potentially open to the idea that because just as you're attracted to somebody else, they are also potentially attracted to somebody else? So, like, y'all could take a break and, you know,
At this
do
stage of
whatever
my
you need
life,
to do and then come back
I'm gonna go.
together.
So here's the thing: if I get in a relationship, like I done everything that I wanted to do anyway, right? So if I get in a relationship, it's a relationship. If I get in a situationship where or agreement where it's though that look, we gonna travel together, we gonna do this. Whatever you do is whatever you do. Whatever I do is whatever I do. When I see you, I see you.
That,
I'm with you when I was
that's not
with
your
you.
girlfriend. That's not your wife. That's not the
Nah,
same.
exactly. I'm not gonna have that with my wife.
Okay. Okay. Then that's a difference.
Yeah,
Like a situationship, it's not the same. I'm talking about somebody that you are in an exclusive relationship with because
I can't see that. I really,
and that's
yeah.
fine. I'm not like trying to convince you you should
Because
think
no,
it's
no.
okay.
Here's the thing: is I think in a society we are producing a lot of weak men. You know, I think that there's a lot of soft men that's getting, you know, mentally fucked and all other kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I really don't. I don't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You got people, and I don't knock it. However, that's not the type of guy I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, I can't, I can't go like that. You know what I'm saying?
You can't go for that. No can do.
That's no can do,
And your
no
little
can do,
no can do.
not at all, not at all.
I hear you. That's fine. Different strokes for
Yeah,
different folks.
yeah,
And
yeah. But again, if I'm so passionate, I'm a territorial guy, right? But if it's my woman, but if we doing something, we got something else
that's
going.
not what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm talking about in the context of a relationship. I'm not talking about
Nah, I can't
bringing
do it.
somebody into your relationship. I'm not talking about when you're dating somebody casually. I am talking about when you are in a relationship. You're not
Then I won't be
poly.
in a
Okay,
relationship.
that's fine. So that's
If I
fine.
gotta, if I gotta really, now I've been in situations where again, my girl have girlfriends and it's not even, is it just about just coming over the house, y'all just chilling, y'all spend the night over the house and this, that, and the third, right? But in regards to bringing another guy into it, I can be
You're
partial.
not. Are you listening to what I said? I'm not talking about in your home together. I said separate. You don't have to never know. You don't have to never see. I'm not talking about what. Okay, and I understand. You're saying, okay, yeah, threesomes are cool. You date women who like women. That works well for you.
Right.
I'm talking about you being receptive to her being with another man, not y'all
No
together.
can
I'm
do.
saying outside. So and so your answer is no. Okay. So, which is fine. Now, Lisa, would you like to join? Because I would love to have a woman's perspective.
Yes.
Although I think they're mostly going to align with what I'm saying. Okay, you're not expecting one. That's fair. But is y'all going to be cheating is the question. You can say you're not expecting it and you won't give it, but are you going to be cheating is the question. Because if that's what you're going to do, yeah, it's no for you. Wait, I'm gonna Kevin Gray. So none of the ladies, because I'm gonna give y'all like 5 more minutes.
Right.
I wanna see if I can just get Lisa, you wanna join? I'm gonna send you a request. Yeah, I mean, and that's fair. Like I said, it's everybody's, has a different perspective on it, and I'm not trying to say that I think any one way is right or not, because
Right.
I already said it's not for me.
Right.
If I'm
So
in love with you,
I'm agreeing with you, to be
right?
honest with you.
If I'm in love with you, because I'm the same way. I'm very, I'm also very territorial. So
Absolutely.
that's
I wish you would come up, man. You're not even gonna come at me. You're not even gonna ask me nothing like that. You're not even gonna tell me nothing like that. You're not even gonna think about telling me nothing like that.
I want to be that enlightened, not because I feel like, oh, I have to have something different or new. It's I just would like to not be I would like to not feel like, again, a person is not a possession. Like,
No.
y'all might be in a relationship together, but you don't possess them, so you can't control their actions, you can't control their emotions, you can't control anything. They are who they are, and you have to accept that. And they have to respect you as well. Like, there are certain boundaries that you establish in a relationship, and if they're not respecting those boundaries, then I mean, that person isn't for you. But you
Right.
should, to Fritz's point, I think it's ideally you should be able to communicate in a relatively transparent way with your
Well,
significant
if a woman start thinking of you as your homegirl, or can talk to you like, okay, babe, let's go get our nails done. Yeah, I think that guy over there, he was sexy as I don't know what. Man, babe, he's sexy to me. Like, nigga, what?
See that, well, and that's like when he was saying that, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what he was saying, though. I don't think that's what he was saying.
No, he like, man, I want to be able to talk to my wife. I want her to be able to tell me that guy's sexy. I'm like, huh?
Okay, yeah, it's not for you. I want to, okay, so before I wrap up here, I just want to add one more person. I'm gonna see what this Kevin Gray is talking about, because I think he kind of had a similar take as Fritz, although I really would have liked to get another
Kevin
woman on here.
Gray, my cousin.
That's your cousin? Is he gonna come on here talking crazy?
Possibly. Get him on there.
Oh boy. All right. Look, if he's wilding, I might have to put him up out of here. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all are cousins for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy. What's up, cuzzo?
What's going on, Mo?
Ain't too much. How's the trip?
It was good. It was good.
That's what it is. Speak your piece, champ.
Yo,
Who's in charge here?
right.
Oh,
Pardon me. Yes, Kevin. Kindly state, your position. Thank you.
um, like I don't see nothing wrong with it.
I don't see. Oops, I was about to go into an R. Kelly song. Oh,
It's okay.
rewind.
It's okay. It's part of Black history. It really is. It's okay. But no, I don't see nothing wrong with it. And I think like a lot of people getting like get involved into like the current to the present. It's like I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, you can't do it if you dating somebody for 2 years. You can't do it if you're in a relationship with somebody for 2 years. If you only been married for like 4 or 5 years. What about when you've been married for about 20 years?
mm.
What about when life has passed? You feel like life has passed you by because you've been with the same person. Your kids are grown. You don't know what you're going to do now because your routine is thrown off. But you see somebody out that really interests you. What do you do then?
See, but this is what I was getting to earlier. Like again, I know myself, and I can, to Mike's point, I can be
Territorial.
territorial-ish. But now
Right.
I'm envisioning, and as I said, I have been in very long relationships. So I'm envisioning, would I be okay with him coming to me telling me that, he would like a hall pass. You don't have to go into all the details about, well, I saw this chick and blah blah blah. Like,
Right.
I feel like for
Who
me,
would
I
even
don't
do
think I
that?
would want to know that level of detail.
Yeah.
I just want to know that if I'm consenting to this, because we've been together for 100 years, and I'm like, whatever, because as long as you know, that means I get one too.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
right. But if I'm consenting to this, then just go and do what you're gonna do. Just be safe and do not come back with a baby. And like, and don't be like having her thinking, oh, now you gonna leave me. And I mean, no, like
Yeah. See.
don't get involved with nobody that's gonna bring drama. But this is like, now I done been with you 20 years in the scenario you
Right.
described. Like you said, if it's a shorter time frame. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's like. I mean, of course, if it's a short time frame,
Well, hold
you.
on, hold on. Can you mute your phone, Mike? Because I don't know who that is
Sure.
with the revving motorcycle in the background. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I mean, if it's short term, we always feel like, we still trying to get to know somebody. Like we don't want to lose anything. But I mean, y'all been together for a long time. I mean, that could, though, that question could come up. And I mean, I just feel like, and sometimes as a whole pass is concerned, it's the optics that people are uncomfortable with. They don't know. You got to paint a picture of the situation. Like if you're gonna, uh, is it gonna be now? This is definitely part of the picture, but a lot of people won't talk about it. Are you going to hire a professional? Is it somebody that you previously
You,
had sex with?
you sorry.
I'm just saying. It's like, is it a professional? You know what I mean? Like, you gonna order out? Is it someone you already had sex with? Is it a random you meeting in a bar? Like, what is it?
there, if you have a partner who's agreeable to, or like open to discussing it, the
Yeah,
potential of it, then yeah, like I'm not consenting to you having no affair, and like now you got a side girlfriend. I'm not consenting to
right,
that. Like
right.
what is
What if
he
she start
talking
liking
about right
it? What if
now?
she like? What if she is so? What if that you start like? What if me and the girl start
You
liking it?
Then you should go be with her.
Exactly,
Absolutely. So I mean,
exactly.
that's taking a you taking that
But
that that, that,
but
that risk.
look, I agree. I think you're opening Pandora's box, right? But
Mhm.
to Kevin's point, if you have if they have a conversation and they put parameters in place, then maybe they can come to a meeting of the minds and establish like, well, these are the rules of engagement. I mean, honestly, I feel like, okay, yeah, you can put them things in place. People still gonna do what they want to
Man,
do. That's what
I
I
mean,
think.
Absolutely.
I just feel like it's too many, variables, too many options. I'm sorry, there's too many options for a hall pass. I mean, like a hall pass could be like a girl's trip, guy's trip. You don't know this person. I don't know this person. It ain't got to be somebody that live next door or live in the same city. It's a hall pass.
Oh, Tim, he said my commitment. He's been married for 24 years, 24 of them. You heard that? He said his commitment to his wife is stronger than these hoes.
You ain't
So,
lying, Chab. Man, at a certain
Yeah,
point, I ain't gonna say coochie is coochie is coochie, but you can make your coochie be whatever you want it to be. To be honest with you,
yeah.
and that's how I kind of feel like. I mean, yeah, you're attracted to other people, but is the attraction that
Sex
is
has nothing to do with
that
sex has
really
nothing to
that
do with commitment, though.
important? Like if I'm out here, I'm out here, right? But if I am in a relationship, I really what it's not that serious to me. Like it don't come it comes very easy. You know that.
Yeah, but
We
but
talking,
that,
yeah,
but
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 this
but
is, but that's what I had said earlier. I feel like your level of like how much a having a hall pass is a priority to you is dependent on like what your experience prior to being married was. Are you like some player type dude who can never be satisfied with one woman? Are you is like marriage so anti the way you're wired,
yeah,
then you probably shouldn't be married in the first place. If you have that difficult a time maintaining a commitment or monogamy or whatever, then you shouldn't be married. Um,
yeah. I mean, some people done experienced infidelity in their relationships and they still stuck it in there and worked it out, or attempted to work it out.
but
If
that's
that's the case, what is the difference to giving someone a hall pass? Like if
because
you somebody cheated
the
on you,
difference. No, because the difference is like I had said earlier, and I'm gonna wrap this up in a minute. The difference is that you're being honest. The infidelity
right?
is like I said, at the core of it is you being dishonest with your person. Like it's yes, you're doing the same thing, but at the end of the day, if you are being honest about your desires, and like maybe you haven't acted on it, but you're saying, look, I met somebody, I have, I'm having these feelings. um you have to know your personnel though. Like you
Yeah.
can't you
yeah,
can't have this conversation with somebody who's gonna like cut your tires and cut your body parts.
cut
Like you
up,
can't
cut,
have that
cut
conversation with just
yourself up.
anybody. You
Yeah.
have to have this conversation with somebody that is calm
Same
Yeah.
enough, same.
and that
Mentally stable.
because that is definitely gonna send some like I think the average
And I
person would
think
go
that
off.
most beautiful women, again, like I always say, they because beautiful women tend to measure themselves. Oh, I'm not as beautiful. I'm not that beautiful. I think that they are more, they they're more territorial than I say a six. I'm not. I'm just saying a 6 or 5 because they like okay you. All right, I know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I know what kind of money you make. I know what you're capable of or whatever. So I think that they're more accepting of that type of lifestyle than somebody who is, I say, physically more attractive. I think because
Yeah.
they like, oh, am I that pretty? I'm not that pretty enough, or like
What's happening over there?
I, I'm laughing at one of the comments. I think it was 8 Ball. He said, "Don't a man want to picture his wife
No,
getting tossed around,
he
right,
doesn't.
especially,
That's why this
especially
is
he
right.
said it, especially if he an average guy and she
yeah.
want to
Which
get
guess
so
what? Most men
powerful
are
and
average.
linebacker."
Most look. Most people are average, right?
Right.
It's not like a plethora of exceptionally like attractive people. It's most people are average.
Right.
So Like, again, the opportunity, if they're not, if like maybe as a man, maybe he was corny or he was geeky when he was younger, or he didn't get no play when he was younger. Now he's more mature, and he's come into his manhood, and he's established, and women are coming at him more. It's harder for him because he's not accustomed to that type of attention. It's harder for him to resist it, and it makes him feel like, I'm the man now, where as he didn't previously have that experience. So
And say
now he wants to enter.
against a guy who already has that, or you give him a hall pass and these people knocking at his door, or women knocking at her, or men knocking at her door. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
you know what? Oh, you gonna give me a hall pass? Oh shucks, I got
No,
10 people
the problem
who
is,
are already knocking on my door, so
but
I don't even gotta go that far. You
yeah,
know what I'm
but
saying?
all
Like,
right, but watch this, Mo. The real problem about hall passes, I think, especially when it comes to like men, to be honest with you,
It's
yo,
100%.
men do some fucked up shit. Like, I'm just gonna be honest about it. They
wait a minute,
reckless as hell.
people do
No,
fucked up shit.
no, because a woman could cheat on you for 20 years and you'll never know. Yo,
No, which
men
was
do some
different.
reckless shit, and that's where the problem with the hall passes come. When everybody starts talking about what's a hall pass, no, because we feel like women have this painted picture of, if you give a man a hall pass, he gonna be out here on the club, on the top of the table, popping bottles with his dick out, trying to screw everything in the club. I'm sorry.
This is a family show
I'm
now.
sorry, trying to screw everything. But in actuality, just having the freedom of having that option is more than enough. Like, just having that freedom of having that option.
This is what I said earlier. To have somebody who is, look, I'm not that person, but I'm
Right.
saying having somebody who is open enough to say, I'm not controlling you. You're a grown man. I love you. We're together, or we've been together, or whatever. I'm not clocking you like that. I'm not checking your phone. I'm not up your ass all the time. I give you like freedom to move around. I feel like when you and vice versa, I feel like when you give, not that you have to give people freedom, right? But there's a certain amount of checking in that you do when you are in a relationship out of respect for your partner. So you if, if the person doesn't feel like, because I think sometimes relationships might feel confining for some people. If they feel like they still have some freedom in the relationship, then
What you laughing
maybe
at, cat?
not pressed.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not pressed about doing it. Like, it's a possibility if they wanted to, but they're just not pressed like it would be for somebody who feels like they're in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anyway,
Right.
all right. I appreciate y'all.
All
And you folks in the
right.
comments, whatever you talking about. So
You get an option now. What ain't no damn fun.
what? Once you get an option. You know what, Mike? Bye. That's why I couldn't bring you on here.
Why?
No, not you,
Oh,
Mike. This other Mike. This comedian Mike. I know, because he was gonna get on here and act a whole fool. So, anyway, all right.
All right.
I
I think your
appreciate.
first guy was. I think he was. He had a good thing going on.
Oh wait, you didn't. Okay, bye, Kevin. Thank you for joining. All right. So, thank you, Mike.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a nice one.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
So let's see. Okay. So thank y'all, and once again, we went a little longer than I had planned, but I appreciate the input. Definitely wish I could have gotten another lady on here, who might feel differently than I do, but thank you for joining and hanging out and sharing your opinion, which is not really surprising. I mean, most men can't handle that. I don't think most people can handle it, but especially not y'all men. So anyway, so make sure that you out there doing the right thing if you're in a relationship, in a monogamous relationship. Okay. Um, and I will see y'all next Wednesday. Good night.